Free Wendy? A lot of updates in that regard. Hello, my fam. Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the original influencer. 21 years I've been doing this, and today, Wendy Williams was taken to the hospital after a very dramatic morning at her New York assisted care facility. Wendy, as you know, has complained that she feels like she's trapped in a luxury prison. She is stuck in the memory care unit and cannot leave without permission. Plus, she also doesn't like that the entire facility is for seniors. Wendy is just 60 years old, but her guardian claims that she suffers from dementia, has memory problems, and a judge has declared her permanently incapacitated, unable to care for herself. Prior to today, Wendy has given many interviews where she's spoken about how well she is and how she wants to be free from this guardianship. Guardianship is just another word for conservatorship. Same shebang. The guardianship, which was triggered in her own words because of her son abusing her finances. So her bank, Wells Fargo, intervened, and she's been stuck in this guardianship for over 2 years now. This morning, though, Wendy was crying for help at the window at her assisted care facility. And part of me thinks that this was all some orchestrated media event. It just so happened that a New York Post reporter was there and a photographer as well, and Wendy tossed a note from her window. The note read, "Help, Wendy." The former talk show host was then also spotted waving her arms at a New York Post reporter while speaking on the phone. Around 11:15 a.m. this morning, police were called to perform a wellness check. The cops came and escorted Wendy to the hospital. The point of that visit was so that she could be independently assessed of her cognitive abilities. I previously shared with you all that Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, had herself requested a new assessment. But it seems that Wendy's family and her want to make sure that they could do this independently of the guardian. Wendy has been making many overtures to be free from the constraints of this situation, even reaching out to a lawyer to help her. It's unclear, though, if that attorney is representing Wendy at the moment or if she currently has legal counsel. 2 NYPD officers and a sergeant, as per protocol, responded to her assisted living facility in response to a 911 call about a woman in distress. When they arrived, Wendy was calm. She was not restrained and was able to get into the ambulance on her own. Wendy is adamant that now that she is sober, her memory has cleared up so much and that she does not belong in this memory unit or even in the assisted care facility. And this is why I think today's ordeal was orchestrated by her family. Good, I say. It's being reported that the wellness check was triggered after a caregiver not associated with Wendy's guardianship sent a letter recently to APS, formally requesting a probe into what she saw as troubling circumstances surrounding Wendy's treatment. In the letter, Gina Lisa Monterosso raises issues about Wendy's restrictions at her assisted care facility, where she's confined to the memory unit and not allowed to leave without approval from the staff. This other caregiver, who is not associated with Wendy, says that the circumstances raise significant concerns regarding her legal rights, personal autonomy, and overall well-being, which warrant immediate action. She says that Wendy is not incapacitated, as her guardian claims, and that the discrepancy raises serious concerns about the integrity and motivations of the guardian, suggesting that they may be misrepresenting Miss Williams' actual mental and emotional state to the courts. Such misrepresentation could be contributing to her unjust confinement in an environment that restricts her freedom and social interactions. Monteroso says that Wendy's confinement to the memory unit is bad for her mental health, and she worries it also violates her legal rights. Sources close to Wendy now reveal that thanks to that letter and this morning's ordeal, Adult Protective Services and the NYPD are both independently investigating her circumstances, her living conditions, what's going on with the guardian, etc. Adult Protective Services has already made contact with Wendy's niece, Alex Finney, who works as a journalist in South Florida, and asked a slew of questions relating to the various restrictions that have been placed on her in the guardianship. Apparently, APS is taking her concerns seriously, thankfully. Wendy was taken to Lenox Hill Hospital for an independent examination. And according to her, it's one of the few times she's been out of her assisted care facility this year. But her guardian counters that that is not true. In fact, Sabrina Morrissey just gave an interview to Vanity Fair. Morrissey tells the publication, quote, "Nobody's saying that Wendy can't leave a building, but that has become a thread that people pick up on." Wendy did recently visit South Florida to visit her father for his birthday. And she also went down to Miami to celebrate her son's college graduation. Wow. Great. She went out 2 times for fun in the last how many months? Morrissey says that Wendy's living arrangements and level of care have flowed from medical recommendations, saying, quote, "It's not something that I decided." On the whole, Morrissey says that guardianships are often misunderstood. In her view, Sabrina says the aim is to maximize a person's ability to make choices, at least within the boundaries of safety and bureaucratic constraint. Quote, "I had one woman who all she wanted to do is listen to Frank Sinatra," says Morrissey. "If she said to me, 'I'm going to stand here and jump out the window,' we wouldn't let her do that." And Wendy's guardianship is just one of over 20 that Sabrina manages. She's handling 24 guardianships. How can you give each person enough care? And so what does Sabrina Morrissey have to say about Wendy's repeated recent interviews saying that she's better and should be free? Morrissey says, can she speak? Yes, she's a professional speaker. But when I speak to her and it's not scripted and it's not repetitive, do I see issues with her speech? Yes, I do. But the public isn't having conversations with her the way I do. Morrissey says that she'd have nothing to gain from restricting Williams's movements, and that given the level of judicial oversight, quote, "If you wanted to make money or do something that wasn't legal or proper, a guardianship would be the absolutely wrong place to do it." She also adds, quote, "As a guardian, you are a fiduciary. I can't let whatever happens in the public affect how I respond to her and how I continue to help her." Well, Wendy doesn't want your help, Sabrina. And it seems like her niece is clearly leaking things to the media, but she probably feels desperate. Her whole family must. Hopefully today is another step forward in the Free Wendy movement. I think she should be. How about you? Lots to discuss. Let's get into it in the comments section.